Dust Vidanya, everyone. Yeah, I'm dropping a little bit of Russian on your asses. We're back with week 4 of the GBA. This week, the Sharpedos take on the one and only Oklahoma City Thundurus, headed by my good friend, one of my favorite people in the GBA, Alex. I really appreciate him, and I'm glad I get to have a rematch with him. Now, this battle has quite the story behind it. This is our second attempt at a battle. We DC'd before this. When we DC'd, we almost called it a draw, but we realized you guys didn't want that, so we decided to at this point now, to retry the battle and see how it goes. Now, this Azelf, he talked in our first battle. He didn't have Energy Ball, but then I kind of figured maybe he would the second time around to hit Swampert, because Swampert did kind of counteract it a lot. But I switched into Charizard to take the Energy Ball, and this right here, if I had the capability of putting in the clip where last season when I battled him, he goes for T-Punch on Charizard, this would be that clip the other way around. I go for Air Slash on him bringing an Infernape. It's essentially revenge. Charizard, honestly, it's a different Charizard, but Charizard got its revenge. Instead of getting T-Punched, it Air Slashed, and it won. And it didn't die on a stupid fucking prediction like last season. Anyway, he predicts right here, Thundurus is in. He predicts Swampert to come in. That's why he has Grass Knot. Now, the one thing I knew about this team, first time and second time around, I saw this Thundurus the first time. This thing ran Volt Switch, T-Bolt, T-Wave, and Grass Knot. Now, I knew since I saw the leftovers, or lack thereof, well, actually, I don't see leftovers yet, but I knew it would have Grass Knot, and I knew that this thing, I was not going to be bringing in Swampert in on this thing. So, I bring in Latias. Obviously, he T-Waves it, so the speed capability that Latias has, it's out the window. Doesn't matter, though, because I kind of figure Latias could still do something for me. Oh, yeah, like right here. This thing is Timid Max Special Attack. In the sun. 1000 HP Fire. How much did that do? Nothing. You know what I think this Escadrille is? It's an Assault Vest. I guess to take on both Charizard and to take on, and I guess he didn't see the HP Fire, but, you know, to take on both of those. That helped me a lot, because I'm like, alright, he's not Life Orbed. And I can confirm that right here when I don't see any recoil. So I figure Swampert's a good switch into this thing. Could take hits. This thing is just like, I mean, what standard Swamperts do, take hits defensively. This thing, I also used this thing the first time around. Excited Sludge Wave. He had brought Registeel and Clefable the first time around, whereas this time he brought Hippowdon to get to kind of deal with the weather war. He brought Excadrill just to kind of outspeed a lot of my Pokemon. Also, he kind of saw that, you know, Rocks did a fair amount to it. Anyway, so he goes to switch out, and I predict it, and I go for the Scald. I figure it's a good play, and even if Thundurus came in, I could perhaps get the burn, like I do right here. Now, that does 25%, but the burn was a big deal, because he's going to be taking, okay, with leftovers, 7... Probably he's going to be taking as much as the burn does, because obviously the leftovers and the sand cancel each other out, but that residual damage is good. Now, the first time around, I had Sludge Wave, like I said, over Rock Slide, but now I have Rock Slide, so I switched it up just to kind of hit the Thundurus if I want to predict it to come in. I didn't predict that Volt Switch, though, and this fucking... The one thing I'll say about Alex's team is that it really did have the capability of doing the Volt turning capabilities, something that my team does not have. Something I should be really looking into in the future, and something I should look at, because it annoyed me this round. But goes for X Scissor. Didn't see that coming. So the second time that something has died to an X Scissor, whether it was Starmie from Kabutops or now Latias from this Excadrill. But I come in with Charizard just to get rid of the sand. I figure this thing obviously has to have Sand Rush. Not Sand Force, because who does that? But Sand Rush, that's why he brings in the Powdon. And I figured here, now this might look a little weird, but I have Will-O-Wisp on Charizard. This was just in case he brought in Garchomp. Now, if he had brought in Garchomp, that thing was, he told me the first battle, that thing was Scarfed. Now, in our first battle, his Garchomp was Naughty, and I had I have for this battle, a Jolly, Scarfed, Kyurem Black. That outspeeds Garchomp by 14 base points, enough to knock it out. Now, I thought maybe if he brought it in, I got the Will-O-Wisp off. His Garchomp is crippled, like, especially with this one, because he knows that, you know, Jolly Kyurem outspeeds everything except jolly Garchomp. Anyway, I knock him out with the Flamethrower, which means that the weather, once his sand is gone, it's gone, which means his Sand Rush is now null and void. So then he brings in. This is a good double switch on his part because I guess he kind of figured I would go into Swampert because he on the Excadrill because it's a good, obviously it checks it really well. I think what he started to. Well, what did he go for here? Oh, U-turn. Okay, I thought this is the part where he went for a Shadow Ball. He told me before in our first battle as well. That Shadow Ball ran through my team because this thing is a Specs Azelf. I was so fearing the first time that it was Focus Sashed. But then I thought about it more. I'm like, Focus Sash plus Sand. There's no reason to do that. So, and also in the first battle, I had not gotten rid of Infernape and Clefable. Clefable got critted by a Flamethrower in the sun, but that didn't really matter because I 2 KO'd it anyway. But I was up 6-4 at the DC, and I didn't write anything down. But I guess this time I did. It didn't come into play, obviously, because we finished the entire battle. But I'm definitely doing it from now on because if I don't want another repeat of my battle with Fizzy, and I definitely don't want a DC, that could definitely change momentum like it does. Like it did for Fizzy and I's battle. Anyway, moving on. He Volt Switches on Florges. This thing is definitely an interesting set, and I'll explain it towards the end of the battle. He gets a crit in the Volt Switch. That did a lot of damage. Which might make you think, is that fully special defensive? No, it's not, but there's a reason for that. Anyway, obviously, Swampert's great switching to Excadrill, and that's exactly what I did. I think at this point, since he realizes that Sand Rush, he no longer has Sand Rush, he just kind of keeps it in, just for the capability of getting damage, trying to knock out Swampert so that Thundurus Head doesn't have like I don't completely resist Thundurus, and so that he can kind of get a little bit of momentum going that he lost when Infernape died or the like. Anyway, he predicts. That was a good try, Alex. I give you credit on that one. He tried to predict. Not Infernape, Mandibuzz, or even Kyurem to come in, or something, or Charizard to resist to be immune to the Earthquake, but that didn't happen, and I just kind of stay in because I figure on the same token, if he's going to keep in, I might as well stay in because this thing, Swampert does a good job at checking Excadrill, and not so much the rest of his team, but it did its job, and I'm happy that the Swampert did exactly what I wanted to do, whether it was taking on Chomp or Excadrill or whatever else. So I let him knock me out here with Shadow Ball. Again, no big deal, just how the battle's going to go, just going to keep moving on. This right here was a little interesting. Like I said, this thing is a Scarfed Kyurem Black. And I checked it, and I'm like, okay, this should do 83 to 90%. That's not what happened. So this thing must have HP investment. I guess enough speed to outspeed most of my pokes, but enough HP investment to live a hit, perhaps from Latias, or from Charizard Y, or even from this Kyurem. I could have locked myself in Outrage, but I wasn't about to do that, because if I lock myself in Outrage, his Thundurus can come right in, T-Wave me, and the thing's crippled, and in case I need it later, I don't have it. Alright, right here is when he starts to realize that I have 3 Pokemon weak to Stone Edge. So his win condition is starting to become, I have to lock myself into Stone Edge in order to win. So he knocks out Mandibuzz. That's fine by me. So I bring in, and this thing was, honest to God, the star of this match. This is a bold Florges. I got this from... Fucking hell. I could see his name. The G something? Anyway, I'll link his channel. I'll link his Twitter in the description. He bred this Florges for me very, late notice, and I appreciate him. Thank you again. I'll shout out. I'll even link if he has a channel. I think he does a channel. I'll put in the description. He made this, and this thing helped out a lot because with Florges' max special high special defense stat, and then the capability to actually take some kind of physical hits, I could totally do that. I could work with it. So I go for the Moonblast and I knock out the Thundurus. Now Alex's win condition became lock himself into Stone Edge because I only had this Florges, Charizard Y, and Kyurem Black left. So, there's the miss. And a +1 Moonblast, this thing is a clean shot. I think it was 96 to 101%. So, great game, Alex. I guess, you know what? Last week I'll say that I was very down on myself for not preparing or not being able to sustain momentum after a DC, especially with Fizzy. I wish you guys could have saw the first battle that Alex and I had for this match, and then even the one from last week from Fizzy. But I'm glad I won. That means that the split from Alex and I are 1-1. You know, the series is tied, and I appreciate that. You know, there was this match was a battle to watch, and it wasn't just some stupid, you know, let's replay a DC and then I get stomped or he gets stomped. That means the Sharpedos are now 3-1. We're back on track after that debauchery last week, and I'm so glad because I'm really pushing this season. I know I have the capability to go farther than I did last year with just being 5-5. But that's the end of the battle. Great game, Alex. I'll link your channel, and I love you, man. You know, but Sharpedos pull through this time. All right, I'll talk to you guys next battle. I'm not gonna say who it's from because I don't want to get it wrong again. Peace out.